Hey everyone, so I'm outside again. There are still chickens in my office, and they are getting bigger, but they still have several weeks to go before I can move them outside and reclaim my space. So I wanted to do a video, like I promised, about the new method that I am using to really pump out more words than I have before, and more consistently than I have before. So again, it's not my idea, not my method, but I borrowed it, I used it, and it has worked for me, and I want to share this for you so that you know about it, because I didn't know about it until someone else shared it. So maybe I'm the person who introduces you to this, and maybe it revolutionizes your writing methods, and I hope that it at least helps you. It might not work for everybody. Everybody might be different, but it's very similar to some other methods that I've seen going around. So I wanted to show you what I've been using. So as I was perusing the posts in 20 Books to 50K, one of the writing groups and author groups that I'm a part of, I saw that someone had posted that another writer used a method called the Pomodoro method, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but it's spelled Pomodoro, and I'll show you some more about what I'm using to go along with that as well in just a minute. But the method basically describes kind of the same idea around writing sprints. So what you end up doing is, for say 25 minutes or a set amount of time, you focus solely on one task, and for a writer that would be writing. So or if you need to do editing or whatever task you have, it can help with that too, but for right now we'll focus on the writing part, because that's what I'm using it for, and that's the only experience I have with it so far. But the method for 25 minutes, you focus only on that, and then a little alarm goes off on your timer and you take a 5-minute break, and then the timer restarts and you go for another 25 minutes or however long you've set it for. You can set it for less, you can set it for more, depending on what you feel comfortable doing or what you feel you can focus on for a certain amount of time. So that break in between kind of lets you rest, and you can certainly ignore the break if you want to, if you feel like you're on a roll. I have before, but I think it's a good rule of thumb to just kind of not like burn yourself out too much, kind of collect your thoughts, take 5 minutes, have a drink, or get something to snack on, or whatever else you need to do. So after several repetitions of 25 minutes, 5-minute break, 25 minutes focus, 5-minute break, I think on the third one it moves to a long break, so you get like a 15-minute break after a certain number of times you do the 25-minute working focus on just writing. So it alternates, so you get a couple of short breaks with some, and then a long break with one, and so on. So it has a pattern there. One of the things that people struggle with doing this is trying to use a timer on their own, because then you have to set it and you're constantly fidgeting with it. So what I did is I went on Google Play. I have a Android phone, so I'm sure iPhones have this as well, but for me, I went to the Google Play store on my phone and I typed in Pomodoro, and it came up with a lot of different timers. So there are apps out there that allow you to do this kind of rhythmic timing, and it already has it set up to where you don't really have to fidget with it too much. You can adjust it, but once it's adjusted, it just does its thing, and keeps that time and that pattern for you. So I was able to download that app and use it right away. It's free. It does occasionally have some like screens that try to get you to buy the paid version, and I know that can be annoying for some people. Honestly, I just hit skip, you know. I'm not interested in buying the paid version. I just want a simple timer, and that's all I'm really needing. The paid version allows you to change some further options, rename some more things, but I don't really need that. I will go ahead and do a screen capture on my phone so that you can see what the app actually looks like. Okay, so here I have my folder on my phone that has a lot of things that are for productivity or records, things like that. And I wanted to show you, I've put the Pomodoro timer that I downloaded here in this folder, and I'm just going to click on it and kind of show you what it is. It's very simple. Again, I downloaded it from the Google Play Store, so I'm going to click on it here. Now when it opens, it does ask you to upgrade. Again, there's not a ton that the upgrade gives you, so you don't have to get the upgrade. You can stay with the free one. So I hit maybe later. And as you can see, it has a little post-it note on here, and the timer is set for 25 minutes. And there's a button that says Start Pomodoro. The check marks are how many times I've completed a 25-minute sprint in the task that I'm focusing on. And when you click on the note, it'll ask you to name the task. So you can switch it to whatever you happen to be working on, whether it's writing in this case, or editing, or whatever else. So you can even use it for tasks around the house or other work stuff for another job if you have other jobs. So this can be very useful. Now, the unpaid version, the free version, only allows you one task at a time, and you have to change the name each time. I think the paid version gives you multiple tasks you can switch between and have different settings. So you may want that or you may not, but I just use it for writing right now, so I don't really need all of that. So I have it set to write, and if I hit Start Pomodoro, it will put a little icon at the very top of my phone to show me that it's running, and it will start to count down 25 minutes. Now, once the 25 minutes runs out, I will be able to take a short break. It'll ring. You can choose between two rings and two ringtones for it, and once it rings, you will take that 5-minute break. You'll have to hit a button to confirm to start the break, and then once the break ends, it'll take you back to this screen here, and you can start Pomodoro again. So if you want to go into settings, you can adjust the ring volume. You can have it ticking, so if you don't mind a clock ticking at you, sometimes very loudly on this thing, you can have that. I didn't particularly want the ticking because I usually have instrumental music going when I write, and I'd rather have that. The ticking probably would just make me anxious, so I've turned it off. I chose the second ring, which is a more gentle, melodic type of ring. The first ring is just your regular timer bell ring. And you can choose between two different rings and two different types of ticking sounds. You can make it vibrate, you can keep the screen on, you can set your break duration, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. That's for the short break. Your long break duration can be 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 25, or 30 minutes. So depending on what you're doing, you may need longer breaks, and you can always adjust it. And then your Pomodoro duration can be anywhere from 15 minutes up to 45 minutes. So 45 minutes is probably the max you want to go, just because you want to take, a break every hour at least just to get around and stretch, because you don't want to hurt yourself. So
but 25 minutes is pretty good with a 5-minute break. If I did 45 minutes of work, I would probably take at least a 15-minute break each time for my short break, and maybe a 30-minute break for my long break. You can change the language to a couple of different languages, and of course it wants you to upgrade sometimes, but you don't have to. So you can exit settings and get going. So that is the app I'm using. There are other apps. This is just the one I picked. I didn't see too much of a difference between them overall. This one's just very simple. They're all pretty simple. But this is the one I chose, and it does work very well for what I need it to work for. And hopefully, if you try this one or another one like it, it will work just as well for you.
So that is the timer, and that is the app that I've been using for the Pomodoro method. I hope that this method can be applied to what you're working on. I know that it's very simple. It's a very simple idea, and even I was kind of like, wow, why didn't I think about this before? But it goes along with, some science behind how long you can focus on things, how the human brain works, and it kind of works along with that instead of trying to fight against it. So just a little side note, this also goes along with the fact that multitasking is not real. What we can do is we can switch between tasks very quickly, but that tends to tax our brain a lot more. So a lot of productive people tend to do a slow switching multitasking, or a slow rhythm multitasking, which is not really a multitasking, it's just switching between tasks. So that's kind of what the Pomodoro method does anyway. It does the 25 minutes of focus, and then 5 minutes you kind of switch off, and then you can refocus back on, rather than trying to force yourself to focus for hours on end straight away with no breaks. Your mind tends to wander anyway at certain intervals, so this makes use of that and at least gives you a very productive pattern to follow, so that the best amount of focus is concentrated on the work you need to get done. So there is some science behind it. I don't know all of the science behind it, but I do know that it works, and even though it's not always perfect, sometimes I still get distracted depending on other things that are going on. But for the majority of the time, it has been helpful, and I do plan to continue to use it, as well as working on getting further distractions out of the way. Those two things are really going to go together and help me pump out more words and get more done on my work in progress. So it's been working so far. If you follow me on Instagram at author_CA Baker, you'll see my updates for it. I don't always post them to Twitter, but I'm also author_CA Baker over on Twitter. And I do hope to keep updating as I work towards getting this draft finished into edits, and then hopefully right after that into pre-orders for the book, and then go live with the book. So as soon as my pre-orders are up, once this draft is done and starting to get in self-edits, I'll be able to put up pre-orders. And once my pre-orders are up, I'll be able to do a cover reveal, I'll be able to do the title reveal with all of y'all, and I'm so excited. So give this method a try, or if you've tried it before, leave me a comment down below and let me know how it worked for you. I know it's not going to work for everyone, but I hope that it at least helps in some way, or at least shows you another method you might try to work in or adapt in some way to help you. And let me know in the comments how it goes. If you're on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, find me any of those places. My Facebook is different. It's CA Baker Writes instead of author_CA Baker that I am everywhere else. So I hope to see you all there. And again, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Like if you liked. And I will see you in the next one.